Appreciate y'all pulling up. I'm just waiting on ARP, and then we're gonna get it started. If you wanna pull up and talk for a little bit before the interview, that's cool too. What up, Chris? What up, Duchess? The battle rap royalty is in the building. In the building. Pew 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 pew. All right, all right, all right. Hold on, I'm getting ARP in here. Give me a few minutes. ARP, can you hear me? Oh my God, this is an honor. This is incredible. Listen, I'm gonna send out some invites and we're gonna get started. I
For
got my
sure.
questions ready. I really appreciate you doing this.
Nah, I appreciate you, Jay.
Actually, just to for the sake of time, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the interview and I'll just send out the invites as we go. First of
Not
all, I
so.
want to say big salute to a legend, to
My
someone
God.
who has contributed to the culture in one of the most important brands in the world. Sorry, it's true. This is one of the greatest brands to ever exist. ARP, the motherfucking legend. ARP, how are you today, sir?
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I appreciate such an intro, man. And it's even dope to hear people mentioning sorry it's true. That's one of my little brick by brick projects right there, man. So that's dope to hear. But man, it's always an honor, man. I treat it like it's still day one, month one, year one of RBE. Anytime I hear intros like that. So much appreciated, homie. Real talk.
Man, God bless you for real. You set the
Likewise.
blueprint. You created opportunities. You've done so much for the culture. And it's like, just to get
Thank
this
you.
opportunity to talk to you about my personal journey with RBE, I'm going to start in a segment called Nostalgia. And I know everybody has their favorites, but I'm going to be selfish in this special moment and I'm going to highlight some battles that had a personal impact on my life. You ready?
Interesting. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so I'm gonna run through them, and after I run through them, I'm gonna ask you to tell me some background about these battles. You ready?
Got you. Definitely. Let's get it.
Here we go. So battle number one that had the most impact on my life is Daylight versus Oops. Do you remember that
Mm.
battle?
Did you really just ask me if I remember that? Come
Listen,
on,
Daylight
man.
versus Oops, man. I'm gonna be totally 100% honest. I cried watching that. I've never
Man,
cried in my life watching a battle. Their third
man.
rounds are so special. Like Oops and Daylight just, oh my God. And when Daylight breaks down how he got his name, it
Yeah,
was not, Pops at my front door, but never my father. Just, oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
So
So
there's a
go ahead.
lot to that. Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, so setting that battle up to begin with, you remember Oops was fairly new on the scene at that point. Like a lot of people didn't know who he was. He was the opening battle to our very first card ever. He opened up the show versus a guy from Staten Island that I wanted to give a look to from somebody local. He had a pretty good showing, and then we went forward with that, and we did him versus Mr. Mills. Mr. Mills actually beat Oops on the second battle that he had on RBE. But you know,
Facts.
I liked what I saw, and I rocked with both of those guys. It wasn't really about who won, who lost, as long as they both had a good showing. I knew that there was going to be ways for me to get them both situated moving forward. That's where you see Mr. Mills go forward with matchups like JC after that later on, and Oops, you know, his next one after that. It was a super challenge. It was Red for $2,000 judged in the building.
Mm,
Yeah, very,
yo.
very close. At the end of the battle, Red said it's one of the toughest matches he had to that point in his career. And then after that, you know, Daylight and I started talking, and there was some initial concern that he would you know not take Oops that serious because even though Oops had you know what a lot of people consider a classic performance and a classic battle with Old Red, he was still a fairly new name, and back then the walls of top tier versus up and comer, you know those walls weren't really broken down like that just yet. You know, everybody pretty much stuck to their tier. But he assured me, man, and this was when I realized that, when me and Daylight developed our relationship behind the scenes, that I could depend on him outside of his trolling. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Yeah, I
mm.
could depend
Yeah.
on him outside of his trolling. And yeah, we situated the battle, and on top of that, him and Oops, they had a friendship. They both, was writer's block at one point as well.
That's a
And
fact. That's a fact.
yeah, yeah. So when they both showed up, when you mentioned that bar from Daylight, pops at my door, it's like that was the first time ever that Daylight rapped and explained why he does the things that he does, why he trolls, why he
Man,
has a face tattoo. He revealed his gunshot wounds in his stomach, lifted up his shirt, revealed his gunshot wound to
man,
his hand, and
man.
then Oops, a lot of people don't know, but Oops' third round is like 95% freestyled. He changed it last minute because he really had
What?
he really had a dream that made him think that, this is such a slow paced dream. If I put it into word format, that I think I could freestyle it. And his third round isn't what he prepped. He brought that to the stage. It was all in an emotional moment. And I'm with you, man. I've never watched a battle and looked in the YouTube comments, and I've never been at a battle live where it actually invoked tears. People in the building, you
Oh
look down and
man.
see people crying. So that's one of my top three, not just RBE battles, but that's one of my top three favorite rap battles of all time. So that's why I laugh when you ask me if I remember it.
Yo, that was. I mean, to this day, I played that back before, and I just, whew, it's just chills. Like it's such a beautiful battle from
Yeah.
start to finish from both gentlemen. Okay, let's get into the next one. You tweeted about this today, and being from Brooklyn myself, this battle meant so much to me. Matt Hoffa versus Show Off. Now,
Me,
Show Off is one of my favorite battlers
me
ever,
as
and
well.
it's
Me as
because
well.
of the RBE brand. And but I gotta ask you, and you talked about it in the clip, but I gotta ask you, when Show Off said nobody's gonna do nothing, we gonna lock the doors, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, it's real. Like this
Yeah.
is crazy. What was going through your mind when you were watching the energy? They both killed it. They both was killing it. But what was going through your head when you were watching that energy? And what do you remember from all that?
So the precursor to that is there's an upstairs little VIP section behind the stage, and then you go upstairs, and it's really reserved for media and battle rappers. And towards the end of the night, I crossed paths heading to the stage with Show Off backstage, and he tried to stop me real quick, but I was like running to get back to hosting the event and closing out the night. You're on time restrictions with the venue and all that type of stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
like running back and
Mm-hmm.
forth, like just bing, 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 bing. And he tried to stop me. He said, "Yo, yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Yo, what's up? What's go? Like, come on, what's going on? Come on, let's move, let's move." And he's like, "Yo, I want to tell you something about what I'm gonna rap in my third round." And I said, "Don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Just know I'm on point." And the reason why I told him that is
Mm.
because I knew that there was pre-tension between those two guys already. It was whether it was because they were both from Brooklyn, whether it was because they both just are like that, whether it was a mixed bag of history that they kind of had.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was
Mm-hmm.
promoted as the bully battle. So when he started talking to
Yes.
me behind the scenes, I stopped him because number one, I wanted my plausible deniability as a league owner and a host. Like, look, ain't nobody gonna turn around like, oh, ARP, you knew he was gonna say this and you still let it go. I don't want none of that as a league owner. So that's number one.
Okay.
And number two, everybody that knows me knows I don't listen to bars. I like if I'm going to be in the building live, I don't want to hear your material. I want to hear it live. There's nothing like live battle rap. There's nothing like it.
That's real.
So I
That's
never
real.
let people rap their shit to me because even though I'm standing in the middle of that stage hosting and conducting business and being the face and the owner, I'm still a fan. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't let him tell me. And then when he got to that last bar, I was like, oh my God, this is after all of this, really? You gonna talk about you know? But Math was he stood his ground the same way Shaw stood his ground. And it was just one of those that if you were there, you understand that it wasn't about rapping really. It wasn't about people cheering for bars. It was you could hear a pin drop for 6 rounds in the building, that whole battle.
Man,
that
Fat.
whole battle.
I wasn't even in the building. I was nervous watching the battle. Like
Yeah,
the energy was just amazing. And
yeah,
Matt, salute to Matt for Brooklyn Legend. Him even
100%.
giving that shot to Show and Show really performing and doing everything he did. I was just so that the battle. Some battles don't live up to the hype. That battle gave us everything we needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah,
So
that was one of those, and you gotta have a mixed bag. If you got a real deep legacy and library in battle rap, you got a little bit of everything. You got classics, you got bar battles, you got history, you got grudge matches, you got tense moments, you got controversy. It's just the nature of the beast, and that's one of those that falls into like that kind of grudge, real. Is it gonna go down type of vibe? It just
a hundred
happens. It's part of
percent,
battle rap.
100%, a
Yeah,
100%. So this next one, you know, first of all, we're gonna get to how incredible these intergender battles have been on RBE. You got some classic intergender battles, but this
appreciate
one,
it.
ours is my personal favorite battle of all time.
Mm.
Arsenal versus QB is one of the wildest battles. Ours is crazy. The
Yeah.
things he says in that battle. What do you recall from that whole
I
battle?
just interviewed him last week or a couple days ago, and I brought up to him. I thought one of his most disrespectful moments. Another reason is because it's a woman. You know what I'm saying? But he ended his ball, or he ended his first round with Trump's line. Grabbing the. You know what I'm saying? When
Yeah,
Trump got caught with
yeah.
that controversy and whatnot on audio, he
Yep.
said Trump said I could. And I was just like, oh, and then he went up to her to perform it out. And
This is
I
crazy.
don't know the extent of what Arsenal would have done. I'm not trying to put that
Right.
on his name, but QB still like tried to block him as if like it was like grab him a little bit. And I was just like,
QB's
oh
crazy
my
too.
God, yeah, that's the homie too. And then it turned into a haymaker. The whole crowd went crazy during that moment. And it was just Arsenal being Arsenal, living up to his name, the king
A
of
hundred percent.
disrespect. You know what I'm saying?
A
So
hundred percent. And QB did a thing too. Let's be clear. She held her own. QB one of the
yeah,
goats in this. Like great battle all around.
yeah.
All right. So this next one, this guy gets a lot of controversy around his name because of everything that happens outside of the ring. But I want to focus on inside the ring.
Hmm.
And me personally, as a long term fan of this man's battles, music, this was such a beautiful moment for me as a fan. A Verb versus Murda Mook.
Classic,
That
epic,
for me
epic,
personally is one of the best RBE battles ever. When
epic.
he hits the "You're not like us" and just Verb I just felt like
Yeah.
he really. What were your thoughts on that battle?
Man, it's one of those moments that's way bigger than the stage, right? You have the announcement of Murder Mook returning to battle rap, and he had been gone for about 4.5 years, right?
Mm.
So to bring back Murder Mook in 2018, when battle rap is still trending at its peak, like almost all these, even mid-tier drops, 100,000, 150,000 views, top tier drops, 250,000. Everybody's doing big views on YouTube. YouTube is still fully monetized before the ad apocalypse starts and all that type of stuff. And it changed all the algorithms around profanity. So like even the viewership was like up. And to bring Murda Mook back at a time like that, and then match him with somebody that he has all that New York versus or East Coast versus Midwest history with, it was like a RBE move because we knew we wanted to do something big, and we knew we wanted to pair him with somebody that was a little bit more unconventional versus what the fans were asking for. They were asking for Mook versus T Top or Mook versus Surf at the time. So for us to
Okay.
announce Averb, and not just announce him versus Averb, but also announcing him versus Averb when Averb happened to be coming off of a loss to Pat Stay Judge, rest in peace, Pat Stay.
Rest in
It
peace, Pastor.
Yeah, it was tricky, but controversy also moves the needle. So you take that
Absolutely.
initial controversy and then you add on the fact of Averb and Murda Mook then chiming in with some big promotion. They got to a great face off. By the time we got to the stage, like I said, it was just a moment that was so much bigger than battle rap. Murda Mook had all these celebrities posting on IG. If you go to my Instagram, you see I screenshotted all of them. You got The Game, you got Floyd Mayweather's camp, you got Wyclef, you got
Amazing.
LL Cool J, you got you got a Jada Kiss, you got like Busta Rhymes. Dame Dash. You got all these celebrities. Like it was just like one of those battle, the whole world stops moment, you know. And
Man, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. That was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and I
Man,
will always
ARP, you be
highlight
making
that
history.
round, man. Like you brought it up, man. Averb's first round, it's for the books. And Mook's third
History.
round is for the books. Mook will never do that again. He did it one time only. Leading into the battle, he told me, he said, you're gonna think that you paid me for two battles. I had no clue what he was talking about. What he was talking about was the actual amount of material that he gave me. To give me a 23, I think say 23 or 26-minute third round, no stumbles, perfectly delivered after being away from battle after so long. Some battles, the full upload from two opponents is that long. So for him to do that in one round, like to me, that's like a legacy thing for the RBE library. He'll never do that.
A
Nobody, I
hundred
don't think
percent.
anybody will ever do that. So
100%.
yeah,
100%.
epic
All
man.
right, so this next one, there's so much history behind this battle, and me personally, as a black man, I love to see black men succeed and also
My
settle
man,
the differences in a creative fashion.
definitely.
Um, true closure, in a sense. Bill Collector versus Hitman
Mm,
Holla.
yeah, yeah,
Amazing battle, monumental for the culture.
yeah.
Just what made you decide to put that together, and what do you remember? What are your thoughts on that battle?
I mean, in battle rap, you have if you're being a good league owner, there's a lot of matchmaking that you're gonna do, right? And I appreciate the reputation that RBE has always had for our matchmaking and our creativity over the years. But there also are those battles that's out there that the fans are already ahead of the curve on, where it's already a package match. Like it's not like I have to just announce, "Hey, Murda Mook versus Big K," and then everybody's like, "We didn't ask for this, but okay, let's check it out and see what happens." No, it's one of those like we want to see this. We know the history of the incident that happened between Bill Collector and Hitman. And then fast forward all these years, these guys never even crossed paths. Like the first time that they ever seen each other in person since that incident in the street was